What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. In today's video, I have the newest additions to the Makeup by Mario SoftSculpt collection. I'm going to be showing you guys what these products are, all of my tips on how to use them, and I have swatches of every shade. Before I get into that, if this is your first time here, maybe you found me in the Google search or just browsing YouTube, welcome. My name is Sophia, and this is my channel where we talk about all things beauty and luxury. I upload content every single week on all the newest beauty releases with a special focus on prestige and luxury brands. We have a lot of fun here over on my channel, so hit that subscribe button to join the fam and the notification bell to hear about every time I upload a new video. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps me out. And as always, I will be linking everything that I mentioned in this video and everything that is on my face in the description box down below. Most of the links that I use are affiliate links, which means that when you shop through those links, I get a very small commission, and that's a really great way to support my channel. All right, guys, let's get into this review because I have a live demo for you guys. I'm going to be showing you all my tips on how to apply these products. I'm going to be telling you how I think these are best used, and I also have tons of swatches for you guys, both of the shades that I bought and also all of the other shades in the range to really help you pick a shade, because that was the hardest thing that I had with these products. So what are these? These are the newest additions to the Makeup by Mario SoftSculpt line. If you guys are not familiar with Mario, he is a celebrity makeup artist. He's definitely known for that sort of like chiseled, soft sculpted, tanned, glowing goddess kind of look, and I really think that's what he's trying to bring to the table and give us with this line. We have two products in the line. Both of them are available at Sephora and on his website. I got both of these at my local Sephora store with my own money, and both of these are 3-in-1 products, and I'm going to go through each of them one by one, starting off with the SoftSculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. This retails for $30. It comes in 6 shades, and on the Sephora website, this is described as a 3-in-1 tinted complexion balm that warms and nourishes with sheer coverage to even out the appearance of skin tone. So this is supposed to be a 3-in-1 enhancer that is a solid balm, a skin tint, and a creamy bronzer all in one. How you can make this all in one, I'm not really sure. It really depends on the shade that you choose, and we're gonna get into that in a little bit in the demo. I wanna show you guys close-ups of this product in the pan. It's definitely very emollient. It's more emollient than most of the other like cream bronzers and other things that I have in my collection. These types of sort of beauty balms and 3-in-1 products, they're definitely very trendy right now. I think a lot of these brands, they're trying to come out with something new, something different, and that's kind of what Mario is bringing to the table, but he's still sort of staying true to his aesthetic and the type of makeup and look that he's kind of trying to sell us. Now, I do want to say it's very, very hard to tell the difference between the shades in the pan. I'll put a little clip up here of me shopping at Sephora. The shades look very dark in the pan. I want to let you guys know that right off the bat. When you look at the shades, you're like, whoa, this is really, really dark, especially if you want to use this as kind of like a skin tint. It looks very dark in the pan, but you will find that when you sort of spread it out onto the hand, or when you spread it out onto your skin, onto your face, it definitely shears out like it says in the description on the Sephora website. I want to show you guys swatches of this on my hand. When you look really closely, you will see there are very small light reflecting particles in this, so it is going to make the skin look very glowy. In addition to it being very emollient, it has those light reflecting particles. I also want to mention that this product is made in Italy. That's where we typically see a lot of really nice luxury makeup coming out of those labs, so I want to mention that. In addition, this also has a 12-month shelf life, and you are getting 0.18 ounces of product, so you get like a decent amount of product. Next up, we have the SoftSculpt Transforming Skin Perfector. Now, unlike the enhancer, which is a cream formula, this is a powder formula. This retails for $34, and this is made in Japan. This also has a 12-month shelf life, and for this one, you are getting 0.31 ounces of product, so more than you are getting with the enhancer. And on the Sephora website, this is described as a 3-in-1 powder to perfect, illuminate, and set makeup for a radiant glow with an airbrush effect on the skin. This is also, once again, a 3-in-1. It's multi-purpose. It's supposed to be a bronzer, a highlighter, and a finishing powder all in one. And what you guys are going to see from the images is that this has a really interesting ombre effect. So at the bottom of the pan, you have what basically looks like a bronzing shade. It's going to be darker, and then as you go further up the pan, it gets lighter and it gets more shimmery. So it almost looks like this is a bronzer and a highlighter, and when you swirl your finger around in it and you kind of swatch it, it does come across as much lighter than this bottom kind of bronzer shade that you get. And you'll see in the swatch that the end effect, it's very shimmery, it's very glowy. I'm gonna compare this with a couple of other bronzers and products that are in my collection in just a second. Okay, so those are the basic details that you guys need to know about these products. Now I'm gonna get into some swatches. I went into my local Sephora store, I swatched swatched every single shade. A lot of these swatches are going to be filmed on my mobile device, so I apologize that it's going to be kind of like a vertical positioning, but I did swatch every single shade, and I'm going to show you guys all of these as best I can to kind of help guide you in your shade selection, because I think that that is one of the hardest parts about buying this product, is like, not only do a lot of people not really know what it is and how to use it, which I will help you with that, but it's also incredibly difficult to pick a shade. It was very hard for me. I got 2 shades of the enhancer and 2 shades of the Perfector, and once I put them on my face, it became very evident which one worked better. All right, let's start off with the enhancer and the Perfector in the shades light. You guys will see that the light in the enhancer, it's very, very light. It's pretty light. It's not light enough so that personally myself, as a very pale person, can use it as like a skin tint, but it's very light if I wanted to use it as a bronzer. I really want to call that out. And then the Perfector, in addition, it's very light and pale gold. Now I want to show you what the enhancer looks like in the light medium. This is actually the one that I'm wearing on my face today. This is the one that works best for me. And I'll also show you a clip here of the light medium versus the light enhancers. You will see that the light medium, it's definitely darker. It's still pretty neutral, like it's not too warm, but I want to show you the difference between the light shades, especially so you can see just how light the light shade is in the enhancer. Now, unfortunately, they didn't have the Perfector in the light medium in the store, so my friend Melissa kindly sent me these swatches for you guys to see. Melissa, thank you so much. Your hands are now famous, or at least they are on my channel. You'll see here that when you jump from light to light medium in that powdery Perfector, you're still getting a pretty light shade again, because when you swirl your hand throughout the whole product, because it's so shimmery up there at the top where it looks like a highlighter, it all kind of pulls very light and gold. Next, we have shades medium and medium in the enhancer and Perfector. What I want to say about the medium shades is that, especially in the enhancer, the medium is noticeably warmer. Like all of a sudden it gets super warm. That center shade, the medium, it's a lot warmer than the light medium and then the next shade that we're going to talk about. Now, I purchased the Perfector in the shade medium. Like I said, they didn't have light medium at my local Sephora, so I do want to show you what this looks like just in natural light. I filmed this with kind of like the afternoon light, so the sun is very strong, but it allows you guys to see just how reflective that is and kind of like the tone and the finish that it has on the skin. Next up, we have medium dark and medium dark in both of the products. Now, I bought both of these even though it's medium dark and I am super pale, because what you guys are going to see is that there is a significant jump in the shades once you go from the medium to the medium dark. And when I was swatching these, once again, like it looks dark in the pan, but then it's surprisingly light when you actually swatch them. So I was thinking, okay, this is how you're going to be able to use this as a bronzer, is by picking a darker shade. You guys will see how this works on my skin tone in just a second, the demo, but I do want to show you guys just how big of a jump there is in the shades when you go to the medium dark. Next, we have the shades dark and dark in both of the products. We're definitely getting deeper in tone here. This looks a little bit more chocolatey. There's a little bit of like a warm undertone there as well. Now, there is one more shade in the enhancer than we have in the Perfector. That is the shade Dark Deep. So what I swatched for you guys here is the shade in the enhancer Dark, Dark Deep, and then we have the shade Dark in the Perfector. So you guys can see the differences between those tones. My guess is that if you were the Dark Deep in the enhancer, you would probably go for the shade Dark in the Perfector, but I'm hoping that these swatches will help you understand the differences between the tones in those deeper shades. Next, I did swatches of the enhancer in all of the lighter shades. So we have light, light medium, medium, and medium dark. Then I did swatches of the deeper shades in the enhancer. So we have, once again, medium dark, dark, and dark deep. Lastly, we have swatches of all of the Perfectors minus light medium, which I showed you guys the swatch of that earlier because they didn't have it in the store. We have light, medium, medium dark, and dark. Real quick, I wanted to do some comparison swatches with other products that I have in my collection, just so that you guys can see the difference in the texture and the formula, but also the color. So first up, I started off with the shades that I have in the enhancer, and I swatched this up against a bunch of other very popular cream bronzers in my collection. So from top to bottom in these swatches, what you are seeing are the Mario products in light medium, medium dark. Then we have the new Charlotte Tilbury cream bronzer in the shade Fair. Next, we have the fairest shade of the Saie cream bronzer. And then lastly, we have the Westman Atelier face trace sticks in the colors Biscuit and then the color Truffle. What you guys are going to see here is that the Mario products, compared to the other bronzers in my collection, they have a sheerer, more emollient finish to them, and then they also have more of like an illumination. They're much glowier than the other products that are in my collection. The Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, it's straight up matte. It looks straight up matte compared to these. So if you don't like something that's very emollient, maybe go more towards that. And then the Saie and Westman Atelier products, they're closer, but they're just more pigmented and they're not as glowy. Next, I swatched the 2 shades of the Perfector that I purchased against some of the other powder bronzers that are in my collection. From top to bottom in this swatch, we have the Perfector in medium, medium dark. Then we have the Goss bronzer in the latest shade Light Gold. We have the Patrick Ta in She's Sculpted. We have the Tom Ford Terra bronzer. We have the Fenty Beauty bronzer in Shady Biz. And then finally, the Hourglass bronzer that is from the most recent holiday palette. I believe it's called Universe. What I found is that these skin perfectors from Mario, they're very similar to the other glowy bronzers that I have in my collection. So I want to show you guys a quick swatch comparison of the Mario perfectors up against the 2 other finishes that I feel like are the most similar in my collection. What you're seeing here is first the Mario Perfector in medium and medium dark, and then you have the Goss bronzer in the shade Light Gold. That is the lightest color, and then you have that Hourglass bronzer. I find that all of these, when you swatch them on the hand, they have a very similar finish. They're not glittery, they don't have any chunky glitter, but they're extremely radiant. That's definitely what you're gonna see in the demo when I put this on my face. They look really shimmery when you swatch them, but when you actually put them on the face, they're gonna give you that airbrushed effect that you also get from the Goss and the Hourglass products. All right, friends, thanks for bearing with me through all those swatches and those comparisons. I really hope that this was helpful. I really want to help you guys pick a shade and understand how these are best used. So next up, we are going to be doing a live demo. I'm going to be showing you guys how I got this look, all of my recommendations on how to apply these and what brushes to use. So let's get into that. All right, party people, I've got you up close. Let's get into this demo. Are we ready for our very merry Mario look? Let's get into it. All right, so you guys will see I already have some base on. I am wearing the Fenty Skin Tint in the shade 2, and then I'm wearing the LYS concealer. I also just tinted my brows and just filled them in a little bit, so they are a little bit dark right now. I do not recommend putting either of these products all over the face, and I think you guys are going to see why. I'm going to show you guys how I like to apply these products. I did play around with these last night just so I could figure out what is the best way to use these, and I think I figured it out. I also watched a couple of tutorials from Mario's social media, so let's get into it. Starting off with the enhancer, the shade that I'm going to be using is this one. This is light medium. I did a lot of swatches in the store. I picked 2 colors, and this is the one that I think works the best for me. Now, the way that I like to use this is basically as a sculpting bronzer. That is what it is designed to do. I don't recommend putting this all over your face, which is why I went in with a skin tint. I want kind of like a nice summery bronze, chiseled, softly sculpted look. That's what these are for. And the brush that I like to use for this is the BK Beauty 101. This is kind of like, they call this like the bunny foot brush. It's nice and angled. It's a synthetic brush. It really is just gonna like kiss and hug the cheek, but it's also gonna blend the product out really well. So I'm just lightly dabbing my BK Beauty brush into the product. And then as Mario instructs, you're just going to lightly kind of caress the sides of your face. You're just like dabbing it around the perimeter of your face to add a little bit of sculpt. You can already see the difference there on my forehead, that I just look a little bit more bronze and chiseled on this side. Now, normally when I bronze, I like to go more so on like the tops of my face. So tops of my cheeks, tops of my forehead, and you definitely can do that with this. You can use this just kind of like a bronzer. But the way that Mario has designed this is to be a little bit more of like a sculpting balm. So I'm just gonna go in with my brush and I'm gonna just kind of lift my face and sculpt my face. It's very, very blendable. I do recommend using more of like a blender type of brush. When I went in with a very, very dense brush, for example, the Sonia G Jumbo Base, I found that it was kind of harder to blend. I don't think it works when you like really pack it into your cheekbone. I really like this style of brush to just kind of blend it out. So this is the difference, just with a very light layer of the light medium on this side of my face. You can see it's a soft sculpt. That's what the name of the product is. This is what it looks like without, and this is what it looks like with. Now I'm gonna layer on another layer so you guys can see how we can kind of build this up. All right, so this is with 2 layers. I just built that up a little bit. It's definitely buildable, but it's very blendable. This isn't as pigmented as a lot of my other cream bronzers, but I find that it blends really well. And just kind of describing the way that this feels on the face, it definitely is pretty emollient. Like your face is gonna feel pretty moisturized. It does set down a little bit over time, but it is a cream product. Like the cream is there, you're going to feel it. It gives a very nice, beautiful kind of radiant look to the face. As you guys would have seen in the swatches, this is more emollient than a lot of my other cream bronzers. Now I'm gonna do the other side of my face to show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so here's what it looks like on my face when I have both sides done. It's just a really beautiful, soft, chiseled effect. It's almost like using bronzer and contour in one. Very natural, really good for summer, honestly. And we've got just like a nice kind of sheen to the skin. Once again, like you will feel this on your skin. Like if I do the hair test, it sticks. If you like something that is very glowy, then you're gonna like this. If you can't stand those sort of sticky products, then don't get this. But you guys are gonna see that you can set this with powder. You can set it with powder and the stickiness goes away. And that's what we're gonna do in a second with the perfecting powder. I do wanna show you guys, I also got the shade medium dark because I was thinking that this would be better more so if I wanted to use it as a bronzer. I honestly wasn't sure how these colors were gonna pull on the face because they look so dark in the pan, but then they swatch so light and sheer. I do think light medium is the perfect color for me. I think it's just neutral enough. I will show you guys a clip of me using this shade, the medium dark. It just got a little bit too muddy. I was thinking that maybe I could use one as a bronzer and one more so as a contour. I put the medium dark in the hollows of the cheeks and it was just too dark. It was too muddy for me. So in general, when looking at the spectrum of shades, I would kind of stick to what you are used to. The shades here are really hard to figure out, but I want to let you guys know my experience. For me, the light medium is perfect. Now we're going to go in with the Perfector. Now this is really interesting because this has an ombre effect. So it's almost like you've got a bronzer at the bottom and then a highlighter at the top. The part at the bottom that is darker isn't really shimmery, but there's a lot of shimmer at the top. And that's why when you swatch these and you kind of swirl your finger around in them, all of them look very gold because they're all very pale at the top here. So I'm going to show you guys the way that I like to use this. And that is basically selectively kind of choosing where you put your brush to create a specific look on a certain part of your face. So the brush that I'm going to be using first is the Sonia G Smooth Buffer. I like this because it's just small enough to kind of get into that bottom part that looks like a bronzer. It makes it super easy to just kind of buff it onto the face. So first I am using more of like the bottom part, but we're getting a little bit of the shimmer as well and just kind of dusting that on as a bronzer. And I'll show you guys right there how that looks. And I'm just kind of setting what I did and bronzing it up. And I'm using the shade medium here. It's definitely one of the warmest shades in the range. They didn't have light medium at the store, but I did order it online. So I'm gonna see if maybe that works better than this. But honestly, I like the way that this looks. It definitely looks like a bronzer down at the bottom here. And that's kind of what I was looking for. I also like to put this on my ears just to kind of tie everything together. I like a nice shimmery bronze ear. I don't know about you guys. You can also go back in with the original brush that you use and just kind of blend that out around the edges. Now I'm gonna go in with my Wayne Goss airbrush and I am just going to put that on the side that is more golden, that looks like a highlight. So you guys are gonna see I picked up a much lighter pigment there and we're gonna dust that onto the tops of my cheekbones and my temples where normally I would highlight my face. Let me show you guys how this is looking with everything. See how I have a little bit of a chisel there, but then we're also getting a beautiful golden shimmer. These shades are very golden in the Perfector powders. They're very golden, especially like the top part of the powder that is shimmery. And I think that's what Mario is going for. He's going for that golden goddess kind of look, that sort of like sculpted Kardashian sort of style. Because these powders were swatching so light in the store, especially when I was swirling my finger around in them, I also picked up the shade medium dark. You guys will see there is a significant jump when you go from medium to medium dark. And I just want to show you guys a clip of what it looked like when I tried to use the medium dark. Oh my goodness. This was way too dark. I looked like an Oompa Loompa. It was very red on my face. I'm definitely going to be returning this or maybe giving it to somebody who can use this shade. I'm also going to be using this as eyeshadow today. Mario really likes that sort of monochrome sculpted look. So we're going to use the enhancer powder to sculpt our eyes and create a nice golden look. All right, friends, this is the final look. I just finished up the eye look. I put on 2 coats of the Cali Ray mascara, and then I put on Mario's Plumping Lip Serum in the shade Bronze Glow. I reviewed this for you guys on my channel, and I just want to show you guys how this is looking. See how it's just like a really beautiful kind of bronzed airbrushed effect. I will say that putting the Perfector on top of the enhancer really does a pretty good job of setting it. You could go in with some translucent powder, but I don't think that's really the look that Mario is going for. If you don't like something that is a little bit sort of glowy and emollient, I don't know if you're going to like this product. As you can see, the hair is not sticking to it anymore, so it's not going to do that. If anything, it's going to stick to the lip serum now. I really don't feel uncomfortable. I think it's fine. It just kind of feels like some of my more emollient bronzers, like the Westman Atelier, for example. So I just want to show you guys what this is looking like. I will also turn off my ring light. This is in completely natural light. It's very cloudy out today, so I put the ring light on so you guys can see, and that's what this is looking like. I hope that this demo was helpful for you guys. Now I'm gonna sum up everything in my final thoughts. All right, friends, I hope that that demo was helpful. Now it's time to get into my final thoughts. What do I think of these new products from Makeup by Mario? If you guys can't tell already, I actually really like these products. It took a little bit of a learning curve. I really had to play around with these last night and see like how pigmented they were, how they would apply to the skin. But at the end of the day, I actually really like these. I think they create exactly what they say they will, which is a soft sculpted look, a very airbrushed look if you go in with the Skin Perfector. I like that he's kind of bringing something new to the table. I know that these can seem a little bit gimmicky because these brands have already sold us foundations, balms, skin tints, bronzers, contours, all those types of things. But as somebody who is a makeup lover and a makeup enthusiast, I like these. I like that they're multi-purpose. I really like that the Perfector can be used as a bronzer, a highlighter, kind of just an overall glowy powder. I like that it looks good on the eyes. What I will say, however, and this is just my recommendation, is that I don't recommend that you put these all over the face. I think that the enhancer is just too balmy. It's too emollient for that. I also think it's going to be really hard to find your shade. When you see Mario applying this, he's just doing it around the perimeters of his face like he usually likes to do his makeup. He likes to create a lot of like brightness and illumination in the center of the face and sort of shading around the perimeter, and that's exactly what we did in the demo today, and I think that it looks really beautiful. This formula in the enhancer definitely has a dewy finish. Once again, I think that you can set it with powder. If you're somebody that really doesn't like cream products and you like more of a matte look, then I don't recommend getting this. It's very blendable. I love that it's glowy. As you saw in the comparisons, it is different than the other products that I have in my collection, but I do want to call out it is a very emollient product. Now, just to kind of sum up my takeaways around the shades, the shade Light is very, very light. I really would only recommend that for people who are very fair, or if you want like the softest, most natural bronzing and contouring effect. I almost think that you could potentially use that as kind of like a base and then maybe go in with a bit of a darker color to get a little bit more of like a chiseled effect. But the shade Light is very light. The shade Medium is definitely the warmest shade, and then once again, jumping from medium to medium dark, it's quite a jump. So those are the things that I would keep in mind when selecting a shade in the enhancer. Now for the Perfector. In terms of the formula, it's not super glittery, but this is very glowy. I wouldn't say it's just a bronzer. I wouldn't say it's just a highlighter. I definitely wouldn't use it as a setting powder. At least that's my recommendation. Like, I don't really see myself putting this like under the eyes or on my nose. Not that I use setting powder that often, but I don't recommend that you do that. You're gonna look like the Tin Man's copper cousin if you do that. It's gonna look very, very gold. The formula is very similar to other glowy bronzers. If you're a fan of the Hourglass, if you're a fan of the Goss bronzers, which are also very shimmery but not glittery, then I think you will like this. The point here that I want to make that I think will be helpful is that these are very gold. They're very gold leaning. So for me, as somebody that loves those other shimmery bronzer formulas, I like this as kind of like a golden summertime option. Will I be using this all year round? I'm not really sure. I think if you're confused on what shade to get, I would probably look at the color here that is at the bottom of the pan, that darker bronzer color, and ask yourself, is this a color that I would use as a bronzer? Because then you're gonna be able to use this in a lot of different ways. When you swirl your finger throughout this, the first 3 shades look very light. It was really hard for me to tell the difference in the store. So I think the easiest way for you to pick out what shade to get is to look at that color that is at the bottom, and that's gonna kind of dictate the undertone that you're gonna get when it actually hits your skin. All right, friends, those are all my thoughts about these new products from Makeup by Mario. I really like these. I like them for the summertime. I'm definitely gonna be keeping these in my collection. I probably will be returning the 2 darker shades that I got in the medium dark. They're just too dark for me. I think the light medium or the medium is perfect for my skin tone. The light is just a little bit too light. So those are my takeaways. If you are a similar skin tone to me, that's kind of where I would start to explore. But that being said, enough about what I think. What do you guys think? Are you intrigued by this? Because a lot of you guys asked for this review. You said you were intrigued, but you just weren't really sure how to use it or what they were. Let me know in the comments down below if this was helpful and if you guys think you are going to be picking this up and what your experience is if you pick them up already. If this video was helpful, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. It really helps me out. I will also put my Instagram handle up here so that you guys can go on over there and follow me. That is the best place to connect with me on the reg. That's where I'm telling you guys when these products drop, when they come back in stock, when they go on sale, all that good stuff. We have so much fun over there. So definitely head on over to Instagram and connect with me over there. If you have made it through all these swatches, the demo, and this video, and you have not subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button to join the fam. We would love to have you as a part of our community. I hope that you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.